Project Here, a concept paper on restoring the occupational wellness of chosen deaf subjects through Project Here, or helping to empower, assist, and restore the wellness of persons with disabilities in Barangay Santa Lucia, Pasig City. According to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities include those who have long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairment, which interaction with various barriers may hinder their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. According to the International Classification of Functioning Disability and Health, or ICF, disability refers to an umbrella term for impairment of body function or structure, activity limitation in executing tasks or actions, and participation restriction in life situations, referring to the negative aspects of the interaction between an individual and that individual's contextual factors. The World Health Organization claimed that there are over 1 billion people, or 50% of the world population in the world, that have some form of disability, and there were about 190 million people, 15 years old and older, that have significant difficulties in functioning. Locally, based on the 2010 Census of Population and Housing, there were 1,443 million Filipinos, or 1.57%, who have disability out of the 92.1 million household among population. Among the 17 regions, Regions 4A had the highest number of PWDs at 193,000 and was followed by the National Capital Region with 167,000 PWDs. There were also more males than females among persons with disability. Out of the total in 2010, 50.9% were males, while 49.1% were females. Disability was highest among persons ages 5 to 10 years. As early as 1917, the Philippine government started its effort for persons with disabilities, and the national concern for rehabilitation was manifested by non-government organizations as well. The country hosted the second International Conference in Legislation concerning disabled. It was organized by the Rehabilitation International's national affiliate, the Philippine Foundation for the Rehabilitation for Disabled Persons, or PFRD, on January 16 to 20, 1978. President Ferdinand Marcos signed the Presidential Decree number 1509 creating the National Commission Concerning Disabled Persons, or NCCDP, in the said conference. Since 1978, the Philippine Foundation for the Rehabilitation of Disabled Incorporated, or PFRD, served as the Commission's Secretariat to assist the NCCDP Board in the implementation of its objectives and functions. This stayed in effect until PD 1509 was amended by PD 1761 on January 24, 1981. The country has also enacted various laws pertaining to the welfare of disabled persons, including Republic Act No. 9442, otherwise known as the Amendment to the Magna Carta for the Disabled Persons. Republic Act No. 7277, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. Batas Pambansa Bilang 344, otherwise known as the Accessibility Law. Republic Act No. 10524, Act expanding the position reserved for persons with disability, amending for the purpose of RA No. 7277. There is also Republic Act No. 10754, an act expanding the benefits and privileges of persons with disability, and the execution of its implementing rules and regulations. Republic Act No. 10070, establishing institutional mechanism to ensure the implementation of programs and services for persons with disabilities in every province, city, and municipality, amending RA number 7277. Disabilities may include various physical and mental impairments that can hamper or reduce a person's ability to carry out his day-to-day activities. It can affect people in different ways, even when one person has the same disability as another person. The 7 types of disabilities mentioned in RA number 7277 are as follows: psychosocial disability, disability due to chronic illness, learning disability, mental disability, visual disability, orthopedic disability, and communication disability. Sequentially, each disability requires different needs. PWDs can further be classified as qualified person with disability, which includes an individual with disability who, with reasonable accommodations, can perform the essential functions of employment position that such individual holds or desires. For accreditation purposes, PWDs with non-obvious disabilities such as psychosocial, learning, mental or intellectual, visual, and hearing disabilities should secure a certification from the Department of Health through its regional hospitals, medical centers, and specialty hospitals attesting to the individual's impairment. For this concept paper, the group will focus on deaf individuals. According to the World Health Organization, the statistics for deafness is 1 per 1,000 population, but there is a high prevalence or incidence of deafness in the Philippines, wherein there are 2 to 3 deaf individuals per 1,000 Filipino population. It was also said that 1.23% of the entire Filipino population is deaf, mute, or hearing impaired. As of 2009, the deaf population is already at 241,624 for those who are totally deaf, and 275,912 for those who are partially deaf. The group was able to interview 3 male deaf individuals whose age is ranging between 21 to 30 years old. All were residents of Santa Lucia, Pasig City, and were all able to finish tertiary education. They have acquired their disability congenitally and been using hearing aids as assistive device. No other physical and mental disabilities were noted from the subjects involved. Looking into the 8 dimensions of wellness, the subjects were assessed on which among the dimensions they are having problems dealing into. The survey revealed that all of the subjects encountered problems in finding a suitable job. Despite their efforts in submitting job requirements, none of the companies have contacted them. As provided by law, equal employment opportunity shall be given to PWDs in the selection process based on qualification standards for an appointment to a position in government and requirements set by the employers in private corporations. They shall also be subject to the same terms and conditions of employment, compensation, privileges, benefits, incentives, or allowances as an able-bodied person. Purpose. This project works on the concept of social empowerment, which is understood as the process of developing a sense of autonomy and self-confidence and acting individually and collectively to change social relationships or institutions in order to uplift people, especially the vulnerable groups who often lack the skills and confidence to engage in the challenge of their daily lives. More specifically, the project aims to empower the deaf subjects towards achieving occupational wellness. However, the program will not only help the subjects but can also be useful for other individuals having the same condition or other physical and mental disabilities. Furthermore, this will also help the barangay or localities concerned to assess and evaluate their current programs toward PWDs in their area of jurisdiction. The programs also aims to support PWD office concerned. that was utilized during this project in order to provide sustenance to the activities of the office that will subsequently help all other PWDs under their own program. On a greater scale, the program conceptualized will benefit PWDs who are dealing with difficulties in finding an appropriate career for themselves, which subsequently affects their self-esteem and other dimensions of wellness. Likewise, it will help to empower PWD offices in the country through the support of concerned individuals and volunteers.